Green light, give it all you can.
Hello and welcome everyone to the OVRC. Welcome to the OVRC ACC GT Series. I am joined by Erwin.
Hello again, everyone. It's been a while.
It has been a while, and we are back again for another set of OVRC racing leagues. And we are, for the first time, in a sim other than racing. We are in the very popular Assetto Corsa Competizione. We are at the Brands Hatch circuit. Yeah, circuit which doesn't actually exist, according to information I've been told. It's good to be back, I guess, to Brands Hatch circuit, which I do actually quite like. I've driven it before in other sims, and I've driven it around in this sim a few times. I'm assuming you have experience with it as well?
Yeah, it's a fun one to drive, I think.
As we are now moving into
Green light, show them what you got.
qualifying. So this, again, the first time we are in ACC, bit different from Race Room, but at the end of the day we're still in GT3 cars, the popular class across sim racing. It's just universal at this point in sim racing, and got a few familiar faces out on track today. A few long-time OVRC members have come out of the woodwork to join us in it, and it's been quite nice to see.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people around who we haven't seen in a while.
Yes, a few of them are coming out. So, Brands Hatch GP, a 2.4 mile circuit or 3.9 kilometers down in the United Kingdom in Kent. The current track temp is 29 degrees, so you know it is warming up. The track, it's better practice a few moments ago. Track is, well, it is well known in the UK. It's one of the great UK British tracks. Quite a fast circuit. People refer to it as an old school circuit. In the way that it's not just lots of runoff anywhere. There's a lot of you sort of have to keep the car on the track, otherwise you risk going the gravel or the grass, as John Dalton needed then, as he's going to start his first flying lap in his Aston Martin V8 Advantage, so the newer generation of Aston Martin. He heads now down towards Pilgrims and into Druids. Quite a variety of cars today. We got Aston Martins, Audis, Porsches, Bentleys, Lexus, a few Ferraris, a Lamborghini, and a Nissan. I believe we saw a McLaren earlier as well, and so I think I saw a glimpse of a Mercedes. So quite a varied grid of cars. ACC just provide all the current brands which are racing in the real life. Well, what used to be the Block Pan GT Series, basically the SRO GT events. The SRO being quite a big GT organization.
Yeah, it's now called the GT World Challenge.
GT, there we go. So John Johnson went a bit wide there on his class. That's not the best thing. Qualifying is 15 minutes, as so it's not that long. You got a bit of time to get out on track. A few runs if you want to lower the tires and optimize your fuel and tires. John Dalton heads across the start-finish line to set his first time, and it's going to be a 1 minute 24.5 is our first time. There's quite a big gaggle of cars just behind him. Tom Pott is a long-standing OVRC member. He's trying to get his way through. He's in the Porsche 911. The track is getting quite busy right now. I don't actually know how many cars are on track. 31 cars. The track is getting quite busy right now as John Potter has made his way through, but it's got a bit more traffic. So the track is going to be very busy right now. Not going to be easy for anyone to get clean. I think John Dalton made the smart thing, get out as quick as possible and get a clean track ahead of him. First set times are coming on to the board. Unfortunately, we can't get that information for you. Not available, I don't believe, in the ACC broadcasting overlays. I wish they would, but there we go. What using tools we have as Potter's getting caught up in all sorts of traffic there.
There is a full screen overlay with all the timing info, so I'll just go over what it says quickly. John Dalton has set a 124.5. Behind him is Andrew Kevlainen with a 124.6. Then Mark Whitford also has a 124.6. Verstappen also, as well as Pottage. And then Bernier has a 124.7, although there's just been some movements I see. Mike Stoffmill has set a 124.2.
Yep, and that's beaten by Thomas Olsen, and by Kovalainen, just a 124.1. So it's starting to heat up now in qualifying, as some people are trying to make their way, have found gaps in the traffic, get some timed laps in. And I'm not really sure who is the favourite of this. Normally we go into these races and have a clear favourite, but I don't know. It's been so close between all the drivers. It's not been a clear favourite.
Mark Whitford's about to cross the line. And he moves up to P2. Very closely behind Krivalainen right now. So only 0.015 between them. So the top 3 laps are all in the 124.1 right now. As Mike Stoffmill and John Dalton both move into the 123.9.
Green light, go, go, go.
Sorry about this, we've got a few technical issues with the broadcasting tool. Just goes out. We now are back once again. So we've got 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, just to keep in mind for everyone watching, this is the first time we're using the ACC broadcasting tools, and so far they're a bit more difficult than the ones we're used to from Race Room.
A few issues here and there with them not being quite clean sailing, unfortunately, but you know, you have to learn these things, and sometimes you just got to learn them while using them. Do all the testing you want in the world, but you don't know what's going to happen until you actually use them in practice. So. Now I got across the line. He goes to improve his time for 11. Another long-standing OVRC member. Romenkov is topping the charts right now in his number 65 Aston Martin.
Yeah, the Aston Martin. He's just gone out of the pit lane for another lap. Oh, Mark Whitford is off into the sand. And he's returned to the pit lane, currently in P5.
Sorry, once again, we've still got more issues with the tool. Man, has been completely fine doing all the practice, and it comes to the race, the qualifying, and it crashes. It's a bit annoying.
Green light, go, go, go.
back once again. Oh, it's not being good start, has it? Currently Thomas Olsen improving his time, but a bit of traffic up ahead on the Lamborghinis. That car has gone off and obviously attacking those corners there.
Like Stuffmill still lapping around right now in P2, but he seems to be struggling to improve on his lap time.
Not much more time left to go. And a few laps will be going around that now. The track is quite a short lap. It's only a 1 minute lap. Not exactly the longest, but it's still, quite a challenging track. You want to beat Aston Martin's over here, but 59 car, I don't actually know who is in that 59 car right now. Lost some time, it does seem, by having that car in front of him. A few more corners to improve his time though. So Mark Whitford has got onto pole position just now. Stuffmill will not improve his time. Dalton was a bit wide there on his way to try and improve his lap. About a lap to go before qualifying ends. Just over a minute. The last few people will be ending their lap very shortly, or starting theirs actually, because they can finish a lap. So it'll be the last chance for a lot of people to get that lap done. Whereas Bive improves his time, and he moves up to P12. Bit wide there on the final corner. Lost them some time. Across the line, he does not improve his time, so Austria will stay P24 unless someone else knocks him off. So far, a lot of the top runners are in the pit lane. But it does seem that for the most part, that this will be the final grid positioning, especially in the top 10. A few more cars will soon cross the line. Now across the line, he will improve his time. Be one of the last people to be able to improve his time, as everyone else, but 2 on track right now. That's when who decides to not finish his lap and enters running in the wall on the pit lane. One more car to cross the line. That will be the session over. So does look like that'll be our grid. So, mate. So everyone's going to start going up. This is a full formation lap, remember? So it's a full lap of the track before we're going. Mark Whitford will be the pole sitter, as he, alongside him will be Mike Stoffmill. By Romenko, and Pottage for the second row. Dalton Kovalainen for the third. Verstappen and Thomas Olsen for the P7, P8. Robert Nygaard and Sebastian Bruno, P9 and P10. And then Ryan Lee for P11. Dragos By for P12. Alan Millett for P13. Alexander Secker, P14. Ronick, P15. Hagenstein, P16. Dendo, P17. Maxton van der Hove, P18. Villar, 19. Higgins, P20. Top 20 right now, as everyone will be starting to prepare to go out on track. Begin the rolling start. Quite a busy grid, isn't it, Owen, today?
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had this many cars in OVRC. 31. Actually, I don't know if we've ever had that many.
Not in a race like this before, so it's been a good turnout so far. Everyone will follow Mark as they go single file to begin the formation lap. Quick changeover as everyone's just warming their tyres right now. Just going for the back section right now, as of course, obviously the cars will be side by side on the start finish straight when they'll be going off the line. It's going to be interesting to see how people do 30 cars going to Paddock Hill Bender. It's just a quite hard corner, as it all will start to back up now as we head down clearways towards Clark Curve. I'll start to go side by side. as they will prepare to get some. There's a few cars in the pit lane for some reason. I don't know why that is, as they all go down, and the lights will go green, green, green as we start the first round of the OVRC GT season. Mark Whitford gets a good launch now and has managed to get ahead so far everyone else. Head now into Druids, and so far everyone seems to have made their way through. No obvious people stopped on track yet. One of the midfield cars, there's another car, Ferrari just spun there, can't quite tell who it is, there's so much going on right now so, as everyone else is making their way cleaning down. Whitford is still in the lead right now as they're all going to complete the first lap race shortly. There is a pit stop during this race. Everyone's got to change their tyres, so that might add a bit of strategy in there. So far, Mark Whitford leads as for lap 1. The first time since quite a while now that he has led a race in the OVRC. But Mike Stoffmore is holding his distance. Meanwhile, Hammer is trying to go around the outside of Sebastian. Sebastian Bruno is in front of him in the 777 shiny silver car. Using that car livery for, well, since he started doing ACC, it seems, because he's been doing a few races around the block. Driving that car and that number. So he's very familiar with that Aston and how to set it up, so he's probably looking for a good result today. Coming down a bit, not quite as much coming right now. And back of the order have fallen back a bit, it seems. As Renring gets a bit off there and loses some positions out. Just then. We head on to the second lap. Mark Whitford still leads.
Yeah, everyone's still staying pretty close together so far.
Yep, as Mark is a bit defensive, but managed to get a better exit out of Druids then. Managed to break the gap a bit more. Right, Nygaard's got Thomas Olsen behind him in the Audi as he gets a bit wide there, and not what you want to do. Your tyres all dirty, and that will mean you have a bit less grip for a while. Nygaard is also got Acton Kovalainen up ahead in the Lexus. I know someone's particularly happy about that choice of car. It is Steve Higgins down in P18 right now. The local OVRC Lexus fan. He was quite happy to know when this season got announced that he could drive, he could represent his brand. John Dalton is currently in
Stoffmill going side by side with Whitford for the lead. They come onto the start-finish straight now. Let's see who comes out first out of T1. As they are still side by side. Stoffmill slightly ahead right now. And he takes the lead.
Good move by Stoffmill, went round the outside of Paddock Hill, goes a bit defensive now through Druids as he's now got a bunch of other cars. As I believe that is Romenkov just on the behind Whitford right now, trying to make a move with his Whitford's teammate Dalton behind them. And behind it is Tom Potters right now, and that is the highest place of the Porsches. As we hit 55 minutes to go. Top 5 are still staying fairly close to each other. Stoffel has seemed to make a bit of a getaway now. He's got a bit of clean air ahead of him. He's trying to extend that gap as much as possible. So Nissan, not the most competitive car from what I've understood from ACC. It's not always the correct pick to make, as compared to the other popular Aston. As we've seen, a lot of them are running today, and a lot of them are in the top end of the field. It is nice to see a bit of an unusual pick, and that unusual pick taking the lead. Schwenkel's now under a lot of pressure from John Dalton behind him. As they are closing
Tom Pottage getting very close to John Dalton as well. Oh, Dalton goes wide.
Ooh,
Gets overtaken by Pottage. Pottage takes P4.
Yep, a little mistake there by John Dalton that cost him that position. It's now led that Tom Pottage now has taken up, and as you say, into P4. A few people running a bit wide there. As there's a bit of a race just behind this lot with Sebastian Brunier and that little pack of cars. And so they go side by side with Robert Nygaard, and Sebastian goes down and makes the, I can't tell if he made the move or got past him or defending, but these four are being very close to each other right now. I believe that was Sebastian getting past Robert. He's trying to make his way up. He's currently sitting in the P9 right now. Oh no, Nygaard lost a bunch of positions. That's what's happened, because Nygaard was P8 last time around, and now he's sitting at P10. He must have made a little mistake there, costing him a few positions. I believe a person already in the pit lane right now.
Yeah, Nathan. No wait. Pavel Kortashev is in the pits, and seems to be something wrong with his bonnet. So presumably some kind of crash.
Must be of that happening.
Another car in the pits as well. A red Lamborghini. That's Jose Gonzalez. And Gonzalez going back out on track now.
The best start for them. Start this new season. So remember, this is a 6-round season. All 1-hour races. Or sprint format as such. Every 2 weeks, coinciding with our other seasons we are running. It does seem Stockmore is making a gap. Everything at the front here has calmed down a bit. Still a bit more. There's still plenty of time to go for some more racing, as Mert's under pressure now from Maxim van der Hove in the Lamborghini, in the Bentley. Quite a popular car, not just in terms of racing it, but just in terms of its fan status. It's an unusual car. It's big. It's just different. It's racing against the sports cars in what people often regard as a proper Grand Tourer. So, not even that half bad in real life. It won Bathurst this year.
Oh, Whitford runs wide. It's going to allow Tom Pottage to overtake. They're side by side. Then we'll be side by side for a little while longer. Potish just ever so slightly ahead.
He makes the
As
move.
Potish takes the position.
Yeah, he makes the move, and now he moves up to P2, so good charge through the field right now for him, as Mopwith, which has lost 2 positions since his pole position. He's got to try and hang on as much as he can to Tom Potters, and see if Tom Potters can catch Mike Stoffman, who's making a bit of a gap ahead of him now. Okay, now Tom Potters goes a bit deep there, and lets Mark come back, but not close enough to really make an effect.
Mike Stoffmill now has a 1.7 second gap and is already running into the first traffic. So that does appear to be Jose Gonzalez in front of him, who had gone into the pits earlier on.
It's a shame to see some people have an instance, but so far most people I believe are still out on the track. No retirement yet. Number 9 got under pressure from Alexander Sekia. He had a decent qualifying position, but it lacks a bit of race pace. It does seem as he's dropped down a few positions. So far, that is keeping Sekia behind him. Is the backmarker Lamborghini there that's in the middle. He's got to get out of the way as much as possible for these guys. He doesn't have to die off the track. The blue flag rules are just normal blue flag rules. It is encouraged to get out of the way. You don't have to, it's not like F1 where you get penalised, but it is heavily encouraged. He is somewhat blocking Kovalainen there, so I don't think Kovalainen's particularly happy about that. And he's still in the way. He finally does move across to let the Lexus by, but that's lost Kovalainen a bunch of time there to Verstappen in front.
Yeah, definitely formed a bit more of a gap to Verstappen, about 1.5 seconds.
Sebastian Bruno is keeping on this charge. He's kind of got Thomas Olsen there. He's now going to reach that back marker now. So this back marker could play into his advantage, or it could get in the way. There's a bit held up by it there.
Yeah, P3, 4 and 5. So,
back marker has made a wrong move. They crossed in front of Brunier just at the wrong point and created a massive gap.
Oh, that's a real shame. The red marker is off into the gravel. Actually didn't. Oh, one of the Porsches has went off. Who is that?
Oh, look right now.
Unfortunately, I can't tell who that was.
Well, just up the field, John Dalton is currently behind Remenkov, who Remenkov been holding his own. He did have I believe he's still on the second row. He's now dropped down to P4, so he's still on that second row. Hasn't gained anything like that. Also, Tom Potters has made his charge through the field. It's been quite a close race at the front end here. As no one really is managed to make too much of a gap yet. It's no one making seconds a lap ahead. It's going down the order a bit into the midfield. There is a bit of racing going on as one of the Ferraris of Pistola gets past the Audi of Ninian. There. He moves us up to P19 now, so they're racing going all over the field right now. Well, Tom Potters has closed that gap down to Mike Stoffmill in the lead.
Definitely.
Back mark on the back markers there ahead. I think there was an indicator on to let them know, please, I'm holding this side of the road, please go the other way. Good work there by the back marker. So it is quite terrifying being a back marker. Not in ACC, but I've done it before in endurance racing, and when you're a few laps down, especially when you've got the leaders coming through, you're always a bit crowded. You don't be that one driver that's going to hit them and ruin their races.
Tom Pot is starting to get really close to Stuff Mill now.
Yeah, he's closed that gap quite rapidly. As the gap between them and Mike Whitford is increased quite substantially, so I don't know if Whitford's just lost some pace or these two have really put the hammer down, because that is a 1.6 second gap.
Robert Nygaard just went into the pits and is now driving out again. He is down in 26th position, so not sure what happened to him. Why he had to go into the pits.
He was on a very early tyre change, just get it done. I don't actually know, there is a forced pit stop requirement, but I don't know when you have to take it. I can't remember, it's like a window you have to open or not. So on board with Tom Potter right now as he's trying to chase down the back end of that Nissan. The race for the lead. Very close between these two. It's worth noting that Tom Potter does have the fastest lap of the race, I believe. He is definitely putting the hammer down. A bit further back, Sebastian Brunier still on his charge against Thomas Olsson.
Yeah, Tom Potter does have the fastest lap at the moment, though his last lap is very close to that of Stuff Mill. So they seem to be very evenly matched right now, as they are forming a greater and greater gap to Mark Whitford.
Just down in the midfield, there's an interesting scrap going on here. So the back marker and the Bentley, I think it's Jonas Bibe there. There's something going on here. So the Mercedes and Ferraris managed to slot in front of the P17 there.
So we're seeing another person in the pit lane. It's Douglas de Groot, the number 72 Ferrari.
Oh, Menkov must have an off moment there, because he has fallen down the order. And he is slotted into... Where's Whitford gone?
Whitford, he is down in 11th place.
So he must have an off moment. He's got some possible damage to the rear of his car, and I believe Menkov had some damage to the front of his car as Whitford
goes into the pits.
Goes a bit too hard in.
Yeah, it does seem like the rear end is a bit scratched up.
It looks like they possibly had a bit of contact there. As those two were P3 and 4 before. I believe those two had a bit of a argy-bargy possibly and had a collision, as Verstappen is struggling a bit now. He's gone a bit wide there. And he's now got Menkov right behind him. People are struggling now. Oh, Tom Pottage has also dropped down the order. Okay, so there's a bit more to this going on. Tom Pottage has dropped behind Dalton. He's got damage possibly as well. Ooh, he gets
some scruffy rear end there.
Lost lost a bit of time there on the Sterlings as the Lexus of Coline goes down, so he's probably got carrying some damage at this point. So he was running very strong, one of the fastest cars on track, and he's got a lot of damage on that car.
Mark Whitford is still in the pit lane. I don't know how long pit stops normally take, though. He's just done with his pit stop, so presumably he did the mandatory tire change. As he now comes back out onto the track in 26th place and about to drop down to... no, it looks like... either 26th or 27th right now.
Everyone's
Not
getting
entirely sure.
Everyone's getting a bit scrappy right now, in the top 10 right now, as Vemenkov, Stefan all went a bit wide there as they entered onto the GP layout, and again, Pottage has definitely got an issue with his car. He's struggling a lot with pace right now, so he's either got possibly a puncture, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, he's fallen all the way down to 8th position.
Not that quick right now. He's 5 seconds, or 0.5 seconds. 5 tenths.
Yeah, his last lap was a 128.7, and for context, Mike Stoffmill's last lap was a 124.4. So he's losing a few seconds, and he's coming into the pits.
Not surprised, as he was struggling quite a bit there with pace. There's a few other people that are diving into the pit lane as well now, so people are making all their routine stops about now.
Yeah, Mollier and Higgins are also in the pits.
Everyone's using this chance now to make the mandatory pit stops. Might change the order around a bit depending how long people take to do the stops, if they're taking repairs or not, because there has been a few cars with a few knocks, as we have noted. Question to see how they will all do once they're out on track. There's 37 minutes to go, so not even halfway yet. Now, it's worth noting that the Pirelli tyres that are on these cars are meant to last about an hour. So towards the end of the hour, they will start to drop off. So, if you take your tyres later, you will have better tyres towards the end of the race. Take your tyres now.
Yeah. Higgins is back out on track now. He's dropped down to 20th position. Tom Pottage is still in the pits, while the others who just came in have already gone out. Well, he's going out now. So maybe some damage fixing as well as the tire change. But he's down to 24th.
Well, but do now to get back up again.
And while Mike Stoffmill in the lead, as about a 5-second gap to John Dalton now.
He's just doing his normal thing right now. He's just trying to keep safe and keep out of trouble and just lead from the front. John Dalton's managed to somehow sneak up all the way up into P2. That was some good work by him. Sebastian is right on the back of Benkov. These two have yet to pit. I believe people, everyone from the top 8 upwards has yet to pit yet. See how they do and what the result is of their pit stops. A few people are believing it is the time now to change. You gotta be careful if you take it, so you might get hold back. Sebastian Brun looks for the outside of Paddock Hill. Can't make it happen though. Will you be able to switch back? No, he's just a bit too far away right now. Menkov takes the defensive line as Sebastian is desperately trying to get down. He's puts the nose up. Menkov with the inside line will hold it for this next couple of corners. I think Sebastian's got a bit more pace in this car at this point. He Maybe he's got a bit better tyre wear, and maybe he's using those tyres a lot better. So he is definitely hounding Romenkov in front.
Yes, we now got one more stop. James Butler currently in the pits.
He's making his way up to
Guillaume
P.
Becerra also coming into the pit lane.
He must work his way up into P13, James Butler there, so good drive
so
from him.
some of the midfielders starting to get into the pit lane to get their tire changes done.
Yep, good as time as ever. Is John Dalton pitting? I think he... No, it's just the time.
Dalton's still out on track.
Okay, that's the timing. Timing's jumping all over the place, it seems. Not quite sure where everyone is as Sebastian looks down the inside of Paddock Hill. It's not quite close enough, he's getting close. Getting close, but he... Problem at Paddock, you've got to be committed to make an overtake there. If you're not committed, it will result in a crash. It is one of the trickiest corners to drive at. There's a back mark up there on one of the Ferraris. As they get out of the way now of the two, which is good. Good for the racing, just let them through. But it is a very close fight between these two. As John Dalton has... No, it's just the timing's throwing me off. The timing keeps jumping as Kovalainen's the one chasing Dalton right now. They have got a back marker in and one of the Bentleys. John Dalton right now doing a superb job right now, just keeping out of trouble, and he's managed to secure himself a P. He's just driving P2 right now. Doing a good job.
Yeah, some more midfielders in the pits, Adam Rainey and Anthony Beekman.
That's what I'm getting confused by this relative.
Alexander Secher in P9 is going into the pits now.
That's one of the top runners now, heading into the pit lane. Just 30 minutes to go. Minutes to go. Now, as one of the Audis has gone off in front. We're on board with Sebastian Brunier. That is the Audi of Thomas Olsen. Pinged the wall there. I don't know what happened there, but I don't think he's particularly happy about that. Whatever happened, he is diving into the pit lane now.
Alexander Secher has rejoined the track in P13 as Thomas Olsen and Sebastian Brunier are into the pit.
Yep, so good. I don't know what happened there. Olsen got a bit contact in the rear or what, but he swerved off of there at Sterling's. So Sterling.
Maxim van den Hoven and Christopher Strapen are also coming into the pit lane.
Mike Stoffman has got a commanding lead out right now. As his closest rival, unfortunately, just seemed to have something happen to him, and he just lost a bunch of time afterwards. So
Sebastian Brunier is the first out of the pits and will rejoin in 6th.
Did he jump second? Must have.
Thomas Olsen rejoins in P8.
So, you want to know how fast Mike Stoffel is going right now? One of the cars he's got Thomas Olsen is in P8 in front of him right now.
That is
We are halfway.
impressive.
Keep pushing.
He's got currently P8 in front of him on track. He
That
is,
said though, Thomas Olsen has already done his
yeah,
pit stop, I believe.
he's done his pit stop.
Romanenko is now in the pits.
But that is still impressive to see how much pace Thomas Stoffel's got in that car right now, as he's managed to, he's lapping the midfielders right now, Lee. Now obviously he still has to pit. When he's going to pit is a question, but he does seem pretty commanding right now in that lead.
And Velar is also pitting from P5. Romanenko coming out of the pit lane. Still in P4. Stoffmills into the pits.
That's the leader in now, as John Dalton is looking to make his way into pit lane as well. So Kovalainen will inherit the lead, as he is yet to pit, and will be P1 going around to Paddock Hill. So technically a change for the lead. Good question, how quickly are we going to do the pit stop? So you have to do a full tyre change. That's all 4 tyres in about 30 seconds. No fuel. Don't need to do fuel, but fuel is optional. You should be able to last the race on a single tank of fuel.
Stoffmill coming back out now. Very close to that Porsche. He will stay ahead of John Dalton. Stoffmill rejoins in 2nd position.
Yep, and I think that will, when Kovalainen stops, I think it'll be safely you'll stop back into P1 again as soon as Kovalainen stops.
And Dalton now rejoining the track as well. In P3.
Not quite a gap, like that is. I don't think Dalton has quite the pace really to catch up to Stoffmill, but you know, it's still 27 minutes to go, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
They're both on fresh rubber right now, so we'll see what they can do with that.
Verstappen goes a bit deep there into Druids.
Kovalainen, our current leader, is into the pits now. So I suspect Stoffmill and Dalton might move back into the top 2.
Yep, as you cross the line, you're going to see, you can just see Kovalainen in the pit lane on the camera. Stoffmill will slot back into P1, and soon Dalton will slot back into P2.
Although it's gonna be close now, he easily gets ahead of Kovalainen.
Yeah.
Kovalainen is now in P3. More pit stops from cars further down the grid, Drago's Pipe and Sergei Yukimchuk.
Oh, there's a few more people to pit stop yet. Mark Whitford has now currently got James Butler ahead of him as he's trying to make his way back to the field, and easily does it down the inside there of Paddock Hill. So he's on this bit of a comeback drive after something happening very early on. Unfortunately, he managed to get pole position this race. held P1 for a lap or so, then it all started to go wrong for him. He's now in chasing of Robert Nygaard up ahead. Few people have got drive-through penalties and stop and go. Guessing they're for either cutting the track or speeding the pit lane. Tom Potter, who's doing much the same thing as Marcus, he's got one of the Ferraris up ahead. Now there's all in the back marker Lamborghinis. So 24 minutes to go. Oh, car. Yeah, whatever. Netcode happened. It just confused me for a second. Anyway, Tom Potter's still chasing down Rainley in front. Rainley currently the highest placed of all the Ferraris right now. Max Van der Hoof's managed to make his way up to P8, so interesting results so far, as some people have managed to get quite out of position due to the contacts and incidents up ahead.
Robert Nygaard just got out of the pits in P17.
He has to do a drive-through penalty, so that's why he was in the pit lanes then.
Okay.
So he's had 2 stops now, which unfortunately has dropped him down the order. Still 23 minutes to go.
Konstantin Romanenko and Anton Kovalainen are pretty close right now in the fight for P3, as Romanenko goes a little bit wide.
Rankov is regaining his positions back. He managed to gap Sebastian Brunier a bit, because Sebastian was a bit closer before the pit stops. Kovalainen currently P3, Rankov P4.
They are very close right now.
It's not quite close enough there, but he is getting close. He seems to have a bit of advantage on the brakes. Gaston quite strong on the brakes, it seems. And he goes down, looks down the inside of Paddock Hill, gets a bit on the curb, that'll slow him down a bit, and can't make the move. Kovalainen holds his line.
Yeah, he had a look, but there wasn't really enough space there.
Look like Kovalainen will stay in front now. Oh, we're a bit wide there. The Vector seems to have a better launch at the corners than the Aston. The Aston's better in the brakes up there. You can just notice it when watching right now. We're watching the rear wing of Kovalainen right now. And in the corners, Aston gains. When it comes out of the corner, the Lexus gets away. So, and that's the joy of GT3 racing. There's such a different variety of cars out there that all have little different quirks, little advantages and disadvantages compared to their. But no car is dominant due to the balanced performance system these cars use. So, as you can see, Mike Stoffels currently leading in the Nissan GTR, basically against the likes of Audis, Porsches, Aston Martins, Bentleys, you name it. Back mark in the way of Kovalainen as they get out of the way. front as well. So in this later stage, we're going to get in the way of a few back markers here and there. And for the most part, they are seem to getting out of the way though, which is good to see. I don't particularly like the back marker when it interferes a race.
The Stuffmill on the last lap went 3/10 faster than John Dalton, so definitely increasing his lead.
He's currently definitely the fastest car on track.
Yeah, of course, won the championship last time around in race room.
Looking for a good position to start this season's campaign anyway. Especially with all those close rivals anyway in terms of pace early on. Unfortunately, you had issues of some description during the race. Horse has gone off there, but T1 gets out of the way as the cars come through. Mark Whitford is trying to get back up the way. He's obviously P12. Look behind him. He had a big issue very early on in the race, which cost him a lot of positions.
Quiverlinen is forming a little bit more of a gap to Romanenko right now.
Yep. Sebastian Brunner, who was racing Romankov, is dropped back a bit now. Quite as close as he was once. James Butler doing a very good job right now. He often struggles in the previous series we've hosted. But so far he's having a fairly clean race right now. Currently P14, so good job by him there. The lone McLaren driver right now. Yeah, he's doing a good job there, just getting laps out and not getting in anyone's real way. Well,
yeah, great to see him in P14.
Tom Potters has made his way into the top 10. Currently chasing down Max van der Hove, who's a bit up ahead up the road. So again, another driver which is having a good run so far. Facing P8. I believe he started way up the top 10 before, during qualifying, so again, another good result for him. So Renko's still there. So Renko has dropped off Kovalainen quite a bit now. Seeing some stuff is happening.
Yeah, definitely more of a gap between them now. Quiverlinen did a 124.3 last lap. Romanenko did a 25.1.
Definitely seems that Kovalainen is being the faster of the two drivers right now, as he's just got past one of the back markers. Ooh, Thomas Olsen's just had a bit of an off moment there as well, so just caught it just in time. He's not in the best day for the two Audis of Team Denmark right now after a very strong showing last season in the Racing GT3 season as they were driving Mercedes-Benz was there. So in the
Yeah,
Audi.
they won the team championship, I believe.
Yep. That's one of the only times ever that a team championship had a different result which didn't have a winning driver in it. The more you know. Olsen is not in the best of races. They're still P6 and P7, but the feeling was they could have been a bit higher up the order, I believe.
Tom Pottage is definitely closing up to Maxim van den Hove pretty quickly now.
Yep.
Van den Hove in P8. And Pottage nearly a second faster on the previous lap.
He's closing that gap now very quickly indeed. It's been a very shame for Pottage to have that whatever happened earlier to him, because he was clearly a contender for the lead of this race, and
Yeah.
we don't really know what happened. A mistake on his part, contact, we're not really sure yet, but he is definitely working his way back up the field at least. He's moved up into P9. One of the ECC regulars, obviously OVRC do run an endurance team, which runs in various other leagues events, and been doing okay. Bit unlucky as last time. I think I did like 12 hours Suzuka race recently, and they got a bit unlucky there. Doesn't stop them racing, you know. One bad race, you gotta keep racing, you know. But it's part of the experience. As he is now kind of behind of Maxim van der Hove right now.
Yeah, getting really close now. He should be lined up for an overtake pretty soon.
Oh, this corner, quite risky to do. He peeks out, as you know.
And a very quick look down the inside, but quickly decided not to try anything.
He's just reminding me that he's there. You know, like, hello, I'm here. I'm a Porsche.
They do have quite similar color schemes on their cars.
Yeah, they're both bright yellow, umbrella. As gets better exit there by Tom Pottage, gets better. Really go down the inside. He looks like it, and he does do it. There's a bit of contact there, but he'll nudge as he will hold the inside line and gets in front of Maxim van der Hove now. But he's not giving up yet. He's looking for the inside of Paddock Hill, but thinks better of it and drops back. So that means that Tom Pottage moves up to P8. So what a comeback drive by him to.
Yeah, he's got quite a big gap to Thomas Olsen, though. So I doubt he will be gaining any more positions in this race.
Yeah, with 11 minutes to go, he's got to be going quite a bit quicker now. I'll suddenly turn that Porsche 911 into a 919 possibly is the only way he's going to catch them at this point. Don't think he's going to be able to do it. You never know. Well, it's a bit lonely for some
There's about 10 minutes left in the race, and the gap to Olsen is also about 10 seconds. So he has to gain a second a lap.
and then make the overtake.
Yeah.
That's what Mankov is. Closing the gap now with the curve line once again, so possibly still for a bit more racing in the last 10 minutes. As there has been quite a lot of racing going on here. It's been a bit of a chaotic first race of the season so far. It started very cleanly at the start, but oh, little spins happen, contacts, and the order has changed drastically from the start. If it's stayed consistent so far, Stoffmill staying P1.
Yeah. With quite a large gap to Dalton. Only 18.3 seconds between him and Dalton right now.
Yes, that is quite a strong gap there.
So Romanenko seems to be closing the gap to Kyväläinen right now in the fight for P3.
Yeah.
They are very close together. Once again, Kyväläinen seems to be forming a bit of a gap earlier, but Romanenko is catching up again.
Since Romanenko has gained a bit of pace now, and Kyväläinen's dropped off a bit. There's a back mark up ahead. Ooh. Nearly a bit closer by the Lamborghini. So yeah, the closing part of this race. See what will happen now as there's definitely quite a few gaps now. It's been nearly an hour of racing. It's been an interesting race, as we said just a moment ago. It's sometimes you get very clean races. Sometimes you get races where it's sessions from start to finish. And sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get. You get anything. You can get all sorts as they're approaching another one of the back markers right now. What I can say is that if you are a Bentley fan, it's not a good day for you, as the Bentleys right now are all, well, it's not there. The highest one I can see is P13, so not a good day for people like the Bentley. You know, the people who like the Nissan, are a very popular car actually, especially during its heyday. You'd be very happy because Stoffmill's still leading it. A bit of gap there made by Romankov, which has helped people want to get away a bit. Mark Whitford is possibly trying to make a move now to Stephen Higgins, as he's on his comeback drive as well. He's got Rice. Could possibly make two moves, move him up into the top 10. He's going to make it done. He's got 6 minutes to do it in. Quite a bit of work to do. As well. Did Higgins just
It says I've lost connection to the server.
It's a bit of a shame. Arts has reached Mark Whitford up to P11 now, so he's going to do one more car, but not the way you want to be overtaking, it's by people just disconnecting. I don't know why that happened. Alfa's now looking to make a move possibly on the Ferrari. Both of them go off wide there. Not really meant to follow each other going off wide, as there's less than 5 minutes to go now in this race. Not a lot of time to make any current positions up. Looks to make the inside here at Druids. Good defensive work there by Rainey to keep him from doing it. He's not long left now. He's got to hope that Stoffmill can extend this by another lap if he can, because the more laps he has, the more chances he gets to overtake. Rainey doing a stellar job up defending right now. Down the inside there. Will he make the move? He will get in front and he will stay in front. The Ferrari possibly looks for a comeback and he can't make it, so he'll possibly make a move here. It's not really can do it, and Mark Webber stays in front. So Mark Webber now into the top 10 finally. Another comeback drive has to be done. 2 minutes to go. He's not had the best race so far. A bit of a bummer race of it. I mean, let's be pretty disappointed, but he's got to finish it now. Well, I feel people are a bit lonely right now just driving along. Nice to take one of those in his Audi, just buttering along. To see Sebastian Brun just up the road, but he can't get close enough to make an overtake possibly. Then there's closing the gap possibly onto Falkenstein in front. High. All the way down in P18 right now, so not a great race for him either. Zona looks down the inside of the Druids. And we'll get in front of a clean overtake there by Adendo. We'll stick up to P17. Got 1 minute left to go. There's the leader will start their final lap apparently. He's going to see this down by race control. Stoffmill still in P1, as pretty much led every but a few laps at the start, led every lap of this race, and he's doing another stellar job. There's another typical Stoffmill driver, just getting the lead and driving away. He's not put much of a foot wrong, but all his rivals have seemed to have had issues, made mistakes, had bad luck. He's just got another one back markers up ahead of him. head into the final corner now. As the past the back marker now into one more time. Mike Stoffmel will take race 1 victory for the OVRC GT Series and will take it. A dominant performance.
The leader has finished the race.
As next across the line will be John Dalton, who's had a, I guess, a bit of a surprising result for him. He was started in the 3rd row and managed to keep his nose clean and managed to lead himself up into a P2 result, so a good job by him. Next one will be across the line with Ante Kovalainen, followed by Romenkov. And Sebastian Bruno gets to P5, so a good, decent result for him as well. Followed by Seka. I mean, Thomas Olsen's got Tom Potters right behind him. Just a bit too far away to really make it happen. Unfortunately, both Tom Potters, one of the fastest cars today. He goes home in P8. I told someone to keep hold of his P7. If one more lap, it will cost him that position possibly. Maxim van den Hove will come home in P9 after a good result for him, followed by Mark Whitford. He'll come home in P10. Adam Rainey will come home in P11. Well, numbers of advantage. Stoffmel is now finishing it. He's heading to the pit lane now, and as people are still crossing the line, so you know, good result by him as everyone is now turning into the pit lane now. Now, what a race that was! Twists and turns. Couldn't really get any more of that, really. That one now is returning to the pit lane. I don't believe anyone else is running right now. Last few artists making their way home. And once again, Mike Stoffel takes a win. Top 3 are Dalton and Kovalainen. Those two are both together right now as they head into the pit lane right now. Very good result for those two. Don't think any of us are going to be surprised about that result. It shows what you can do if you just keep your nose clean and don't make any sort of mistakes or anything. As that is that. That is the first race. Can we get a results screen up? I wonder if I can get a timetable. There we go. So that's your time. That's your results. 18-second lead. Stoffmel had at the line. So that was definitely the definition of a dominant performance. Thank you everyone for watching today. I hope you all enjoyed the race as much as I did. I believe Erwin probably enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I did enjoy it until about 7 minutes ago when the game completely lost connection to the internet. So I missed that.
Yeah, that's a shame, but yeah, hopefully next time we get a bit less technical issues, we've learnt some stuff for this race, and yeah, hopefully this is a start of a successful season for everyone. If you want to join, links in the description to both the Discord, I believe, and the sign-up page.
And if you enjoyed the race, please click the like button. We would really appreciate it. And also subscribe to the channel if you want to catch any other races. So our next one will be in 1 week time at the first race of the new GT4 series on the race room at the Red Bull Ring. And the ACC GT Series will be back in 2 weeks time on the 11th of May at Zolder.
Yep. Once again, thanks everyone for watching, and good night.
Good night.